Let's talk about frogs and monkeys. So I don't know whether you've heard the story of the frog, but there's this story. You have to imagine with frogs that every work day, you are given a live frog that you have to eat. You have to eat this live frog, and because a new one is going to turn up the next day, and you'll have to eat that one too. And the frog stands for the most important task that you have to have done that day. The most important task that you have to get done that day. And a new most important task is going to turn up the next day. So you might as well eat the live frog first thing in the morning, or first at the start of your shift. So if you work evenings, or if it doesn't, we're not in the kind of the worldview of the office right now, and very few of us work in actual offices. I'm in the roof of my house right now. But every time you start work, every session of work that you do, there will be a frog for you to eat. Make sure before you start doing anything that you know what that frog is, the most important thing today, and and get that done as a priority. The earlier you get that done as a priority, the better things will be for you. Sometimes that's very obvious. So yesterday afternoon, my frog was, I had to get this prepared. So I had to focus on that, and I couldn't, I had to get it done by the end of the day. So that's frogs. The most important thing, eat your frog every day. The second thing is monkeys. People are always wanting to give you a monkey, and a monkey is the responsibility to make the next move. The responsibility to make the next move. This comes from a book called Sustainable Youth Ministry by a guy called Mark DeVries. And he talks about, actually, him and Lisa Safstrom, I think, have also written a book on children's ministry, and then they've also written a young adults ministry book as well. If you are in children's, youth and families ministry as your job, any one of those books is really good. Pick the one that's most relevant for you, and then read that. They're all the same teaching. It's just offered to you through a slightly different lens. DeVries talks about mismanaged monkeys causing mayhem because they climb up to the next layer, or they multiply. So mismanaged monkeys climb up, and what they mean there is that they get to your manager. So if you haven't made the next move on time, that monkey climbs up and ends up coming to your manager, because someone else will complain and say, "Oh, John hasn't done this thing, and I'm really hacked off about it." But if you manage your monkeys well, your responsibility to make the next move well, then they don't climb up. The other thing is mismanaged monkeys multiply. And so one task becomes several tasks. So if you've been asked to do one piece of a puzzle for an event, and say, "Oh, John, could you please produce the artwork, because then I can do the Eventbrite stuff," or could you write the permission letter, because then I can post it out to everyone. If you don't get it done in the right time, the job multiplies. Well, I don't have any time to send out the letters now, so you're going to have to do it after you've written it. So the work has multiplied. And the other thing is that the aim is to never pick up. You should never pick up a monkey on the run. So if at the end of a meeting, whether it's Zoom or one day we will be able to be face to face again, if it's in a meeting and it's just about to end, and someone says, "Oh, John, could you just James, could you just do X for me? Oh, thanks, bye. And then they click the hang up button. The aim is for you to say, yes, of course I can do that. But could you email that? But I need you to email that to me. Because what you've done there is you've not picked up the monkey whilst the meeting is ending. You've got it into a way that you've got the person who wants to give you the monkey to write it down, to put it into your email, so you can then make the right decisions about where it goes into your to-do list, your system for getting things done. And then we're going to talk about, in a second, only picking up the monkeys that are yours. Because often we get asked to do things that aren't really our responsibility. And so I'm going to give you next 3 useful ways that you can say no